Hello lovely crafty friends, welcome to the Love Builds Up Crafts. I am Sasha and today we're going to be looking at one of my favorite things, which is a edge shaker. I love shaker cards and edge shakers just take it up a notch, so let's get started. Okay, so we'll start with a 5x7 card base and then a DL sized poly bag. So I don't know what DL size is in America, but I know that this measures at 4.5 inches wide. The length doesn't really matter, we just want to focus on the width because that's what we need for this card mostly. And what I'm doing now is just taking a pencil. I'm going to draw on some clouds. Now you can use a cloud die if you have one, but I just wanted to show people who might not have as many products or who might not have a cloud die in their stash that you can do this with just a pencil and a scissors. You don't need much to do certain cards certain card designs that do look effective, but still they don't require much to do. So anyway, I'm going around and just cutting out my cloud shape. Just draw it out, take your time, don't put pressure on yourself, just draw it out, and then when you're done cutting, you're just going to erase the pencil mark. So now, because the card bag is slightly smaller than my card base, I'm just going to go ahead and mark that out and then trim it out. It's about 1 centimeter there that I trimmed off. So it was at this point that I realized that I had actually cut it slanted, so it's a bit lopsided, but we're gonna fix that towards the end, so no need to worry. For now, we're just going to take our card base and then trace out just the back part of our card base onto another piece of card. You won't be able to use the top part of that card base that we cut out because it's too small. I've already tried, so don't try. Just get another piece of cardstock and then just trace out your card base shape, and then when you're happy with that, you're going to trim off the sides there and then just cut out the shape just like we did before with our scissors. Just go around your edges, and that's going to sit on the inside there so that it can cover up the seam of our card of our shaker bit. So now I'm just holding the card base and everything together so that I can do a nice little cut there. And now I'm just taking the top part that we trimmed off our card base, and I'm going to use that to measure the 5, because I still want my card to be 5x7 ish. It's not 5x7, but I still want the height to be like 7 inches altogether. Yeah. So it will be like 4.5x7. So anyway, I just drew a faint line there with my pencil, and then I cut my poly bag like a slanted line because you don't need all of that. Okay, so normally for this part I'll be using heavyweight acetate from Tonic Studios, but I've run out of that because I've made this card way too many times. It is one of my favorites. So today I'll be using Lawn Fawn acetate instead, and I'm just going to take my poly bag there and just mark, but I have given from the top and the sides, I've given it about a 0.5 centimeter allowance so that that acetate part is not completely snug when it goes inside the poly bag, because it's going to go inside the poly bag. So trim it off and give about 0.5 centimeter allowance at the top and on the left side, and once you've cut it, it should just fit in, not too snugly but just perfectly, right? For the shaker bit, I'm going to be using some beautiful no-hole sequins from Claire Manning Creative, and some of this glitter which I got off Amazon. Is just like face glitter, and it's got like 12 pots inside, but we're only going to use like 3 colors. I will link it in the description below. What I like to do is to stick some of the sequins onto my acetate so that even when the shaker is like upright, they still like a bit of shaker things there. So I'll stick some of the sequins to the front and the back because it's a completely see-through shaker panel, so it has to match the front and the back. So once that's done, we're just going to pop it to the side so that it dries whilst we work on the next part, which is ink blending. So you're gonna lay your panel flat, face down, like the inside down. The inside of the card should be facing down towards your glass mat so that we can ink blend our panel once, but the back and the front of our card base is ink blended. So I started off with some tumbled glass, and I just did really light layers of tumbled glass, and now I'm coming on with Citron. Twisted Citron. I love this color. It's like a nice slimy yellowish greenish color, and then I'm finishing it off with some spun sugar because we want some nice floaty, dreamy, cloudy looking, unicorny looking clouds. So once I'm happy with that ink blending, I'm just going to go ahead and grab the inside bit that's going to go inside and ink blend it the same way as well, starting off with tumbled glass and then twisted citron, and finishing off with some spun sugar. Okay, so now that our panels are nicely ink blended, we're going to go ahead and do some stamping. I'll be using the Unicorn Dreamland stamp set from Not Too Shabby because I am on the Not Too Shabby design team. I'm really so proud of that, guys. Please excuse the state of my Misty stamping platform there. Like, the kids use it sometimes, so yeah, I'll probably get a different one so that they can have this one at some point, but you know, it still functions well. So I've just gone ahead and just placed my stamps the way that I want them, and I'm gonna sort of like mask off the stalk part of the star, because the star is like a wishing star, but it's got like a stick attached to it, and I don't want the stick, I just want the star. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and ink that up using my Picket Fence Intense Black Hybrid ink, and then I'll take off the mask before I stamp that, and I'll just repeat the clouds. I need a few more clouds on there, and once I'm happy with that design, I'm gonna go ahead and grab the other panel, the insert that's going to go on the inside, and I'm going to stamp the wish, sentiment, and two of my little wishing stars, this time with the stalks on. So I'm going to do a little thing here because I want the image to be like the stars to look dreamy. So I first ink up with the black ink, and then this time I'm just going to ink up the wish part with black ink, and then the stars themselves I will ink them up with some white pigment ink, and then I'm gonna go ahead and stamp that, and you'll see once it comes out that the stars sort of look dreamy. So on a scrap piece of paper, I've gone ahead and stamped my unicorn and a birthday cake, and I'm going to go ahead and color that with coloring pencils. Now, if I showed everything of the coloring process, this video would be like 40 hours long. So I'm just going to go ahead and show little snippets of it, but I am going to link all the colors that I used in the description below, and maybe I'll do it in order of how I used it. I don't know, I'll try and see which way I can do it best to share with you guys how I color, but basically just color how you want as long as the image looks nice. Over here I'm using my white acrylic paint pen, my Posca pen, to outline the inside of my stars and my clouds, and this will give it like a bit of a pop. And then I'm going to go ahead and do some splatters with the same acrylic white paint, and then take a semi-wet wipe and just wipe some of that paint off, because this gives it like a sort of a glowy dreamy look. Then I'm gonna go ahead and fussy cut my unicorn and my cupcake. Now that all the bits are done, I'm gonna go ahead and start putting the card together. I'm starting by taking the acetate piece and adding some red line tape just to the bottom edge of that piece on both sides of the acetate piece, because that's what we're going to use to stick it onto our card base. And once you've done the red line tape, you're going to use your acetate piece to sort of gauge where you need to add red line tape to your card base. And once that's done, we're gonna take our acetate piece and put it inside our poly bag, and then we're going to open one side of the poly bag and pop in about a teaspoon of the sequins that we used, a teaspoon of the pink glitter and a teaspoon of the green glitter. I've decided not to use the purple glitter, and once that's done, I'm going to go ahead and remove the red line tape and seal that side. Then I'm going to turn it over and do the exact same thing to the other side. So a teaspoon of our sequins and then a bit of our pink and green glitter, and then I'm going to go ahead and seal all of that off. Now it's not completely secure, and to make sure that our seal is secure, we're just going to add more red line tape just to the base. Get it as close to the edge of your acetate and poly bag piece as possible, and you're going to do that on both sides. Now that's a tight seal, okay, and we're just going to go ahead and check that it is super tight and no glitter is falling out. Once you're happy with all of that, you're going to go ahead and start sticking some things down. So I've taken the backing of my red line tape that was on my card base, and I'm adding glue to that whole area, right? And I'm taking that part, my poly bag and acetate piece, and sticking it on there. So you obviously have to peel off the backing tape, the backing strip off your red line tape. Gosh, I don't know why the words are not coming. I think I'm lagging now, okay, but we're almost through this. So I'm just using my finger to push my sequins and stuff out of the way so that we don't have a huge bump when we stick on the top panel, because if there's a lot of sequins in the way, you'll get like a bit too much dimension at the top of your card, and we don't want that. So I've added glue everywhere, and I'm going to go ahead and stick the insert piece that goes on the inside of that panel which we created earlier. So you can see there we have a little lopsided issue, and to fix that, I'm just cutting out a few strips of holographic card from Tonic Studios, and then I'm going to just stick one on the inside there to cover up a bit of misalignment there. And then I'm just taking my glue and adding blobs of glue and then swiping with my finger to make like these feathery like shapes. Then I'm gonna add glitter to that. This is just to add a bit more interest to the card, and any excuse to have extra glitter anywhere, I will take it. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and add another strip to the front there, just to cover up that gap that we had, and no one would ever know that I made a mistake whilst cutting my card base. Here we go, we are crafters, we don't start again, we just fix it. So I add foam tape to the remainder of my pieces and stick them down, and the card is all done. I did type out a make a sentiment from my Dymo label maker, and then on the inside it says wish, and I'm just showing you there that the card does stand up perfectly fine. And this is like, you can write your message on the inside there or on the other side. This is like a nice card for kids because you don't have to put many words on the inside. You can just put happy birthday princess or happy birthday big guy. I know guys can have unicorns as well. Okay, unicorns are magic, and magic has no gender. This is just magical. So I'm just going to zoom in a bit closer so that I can show you some more of that gorgeous sparkly detail. And that is our card all done for today. Thank you so much for watching. Please make sure that you do subscribe to the channel, and please like this video and say hello in the comments.